Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Anna Gushina, a product manager at Geniusee. Today's panel is Security First AI, from idea to safe release. If you are here, you are likely facing the same tension we see every week. How do you ship AI fast without creating avoidable risk? You will hear three complementary voices. Geniusee, we are the builders. We design and ship AI-powered software, and we will speak from the product and delivery side. Northwave Cybersecurity, the defenders. They run cloud security, incident response, and compliance programs across Europe. Iterasec, the white hat testers. They threat model and pen test products to find the gaps before attackers do. And that's a small intro. And our audience, please drop your questions in the QA tab anytime. We will save a few minutes at the end of our discussion to tackle as many as we can. With that, let's meet the panel. I'll invite our guests to give a 10-20 second self-intro, starting with Geniusee, then Iterasec, and Northwave.
Hey everyone, my name is Ihor Demkovych. I'm head of engineering at Geniusee more than 9 years, and I'm glad to participate in the interesting conversation.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you for the invitation for this webinar. I'm cybersecurity manager in Iterasec with over a decade of experience, having led assessment projects across different sectors. My work basically spans penetration testing across different domains, cloud security, awareness programs. Alongside the industry, my mission is to raise the quality and impact of cybersecurity practice worldwide. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, also thank you for the invite and hello everybody at home. I'm Michael, a strategic security advisor at Northwave Cybersecurity. Usually my line of work revolves around risk management and governance on a strategic and tactical level. But beside that, I'm also a GenAI adoption expert, as they would say, and help our clients safely and responsibly use this new technology.
Thank you, colleagues. Thank you for your introduction. Let's start from an icebreaker. That would be a short question to all of you. In one sentence, what does secure AI mean to you?
For me, as for engineering side, it means that AI works with correct context without splitting data, saves data privacy, and works stable.
Thank you.
I would agree with Ihor. I would just add that AI means building some AI systems that protect data, resist misuse, and operate safely, which is what's important.
And I always like to grasp back to the CIA triad. Once we use an AI application, it's secure if our information that needs to be confidential remains confidential, that the information that we want to work with keeps its integrity, and of course that the application keeps its availability and we can use it when we need it.
Thank you, colleagues. And moving on to our first question. This question goes to you, Snezhana. What language or analogy helps non-technical execs understand why early threat reviews are not optional for AI projects?
Well, my answer will be very simple. It's related to money. So finding security risk can save money. AI itself has new risks, data leaks, poisoned training sets, prompt attacks. So if you don't spot them early, the system may look fine, but trust and compliance can collapse later, and we will have a huge problem with that. So I can compare it maybe to the building a house. So you don't want to put on your roof before you check if the foundation is safe, right? So in the same way, AI projects need a safety check at the very start. So early threat reviews are not an option or extra step. It's just the insurance that basically your money that you invest in the AI won't be lost in fixing some issues later and catching the security threats.
Thank you. Thank you for this comprehensive answer. Igor, Michael, would you like to add something?
Yeah, from engineering standpoint, I would say that security is not something like you can plug and play. It's a part of foundation, and this topic should vary from the beginning of the project till the end. And it is often not possible to add security ongoing. So it is required to rebuild some things from the scratch. That's why it's much cheaper to start working with security at the beginning.
Thank you.
Maybe I can round that one off because if we look on an executive level, it's already in their benefit to have a well-functioning information security management system, and a secure development lifecycle should simply be a part of that. But what really helps me convince the board is practical examples about where it can actually go wrong. And I think there have been numerous occasions that demonstrate that you need to have your business in order, and your business is also security in that sense. And as my colleagues already mentioned, you can't build a house on quicksand, so don't.
Thank you. Thank you, colleagues. Let's move to the next question. It's to you, Igor. Name a security quick win a dev team can add in a single sprint.
Very tricky question. Security is not a task. It's not about simple task sets. It's about the operational execution. So it's a process. And the best thing that you can do within single sprint, just start building your process. It is possible to configure SaaS tools. It's possible to create threat modeling to the project, conduct risk assessment. But it's very important to continue doing those things, because once you will stop, you will receive new vulnerabilities, and you will receive quite high risk of data poison, data breach, and so on. So yeah.
Thank you. Any other thoughts?
I would just add from the practical perspective the quick win. So I would suggest to use a centralized secret management. It prevents one of the most common high-impact findings in pentests. So basically, it's hard-coded keys that leaks access to databases, cloud accounts, APIs. So it's really the very big problem, and it's the way how you can get into any environment very easily and very fast. So yeah.
Thank you.
Maybe to reinforce my coworkers from a governance perspective, make sure you have the right people in the right place right from the start, so you can actually do these things, and indeed not treat it as an afterthought.
Thank you. Thank you, colleagues, for sharing your thoughts. Let's move on. The next question is to Snezhana. At which two checkpoints in the build pipeline do you always run code or data scans?
That's a very good question. I would say that if you talk about ensuring security in the development pipeline, there are two key checkpoints when we recommend basically to run code. First of all, it's after the developers push their code. So we run automated scan in the CI/CD pipeline, and this helps to catch any known vulnerabilities early on before they basically become the bigger issues and can be exploitable. And the second checkpoint, I would say, it does before we go live with a release. So we do scan for the all dependencies, configurations, and the training data. So this is a final check to make sure that everything is secured before we go live. But also from the security perspective, from the tester side, I would really advise to still run the full penetration test before the final production release to catch the real-world threats and to make sure that you don't have any critical issues.
Thank you.
Based on our experience, sometimes it could be quite expensive to run pipelines on each code push. So as usual, for example, in GitHub Gitflow, we have three main branches, like development, staging, and master. So I would say that once commit is going to one of those branches, the pipeline should be executed.
Thank you, Igor. Okay, let's move on. The next question is also to Snezhana. Tell us about a 3-day mini pen test that genuinely saved a launch.
Oh, I have a lot of such stories. We usually do more comprehensive security assessments, but really this quick 3 days pen test can really add value. For instance, one of our clients asked us for the quick pen test before they go to production. And on the second day, we found a critical remote code execution vulnerability, which is basically was in different way how to execute that one. So because we fixed it quickly, we reported quickly, so the team was able to fix it in these 3 days. So the client could go live without any critical issues. And so this is an example how this short pen test can make really huge difference and bring a lot of value.
Thank you. Thank you for this reply. Colleagues, would you like to add something?
As usual, we are operating with backlog from pentest, right? From development standpoint. And the good news here is once you have good security operation on the project, and after full penetration test, as usual, penetration test takes up to 2 weeks, right? So after that, for development team, it's completely enough to have approximately 2 days to fix backlog. So meaning that 3 days mini test probably will create a backlog that could be closed within the last day.
Thank you. That was a complete reply. Thank you, colleagues. Let's move on. Michael, the next question is to you. What real-world AI attacks have you seen this year? Prompt tricks, poison data, something else?
Yeah, mostly what we've seen is prompt injection, simply because it's also so accessible to basically everyone on the internet. If you have an external facing application, what that means is that most organizations have treated, or most maybe might a bit of an exaggeration, but a lot of organizations have treated security as an afterthought instead of indeed incorporating it into the build process. That means that they didn't apply the right segmentation between data or the right data classification, and that internal information can actually be exposed to people that shouldn't have access to it, or they can actually manipulate your systems in such a way that you simply don't want to, and which in the end leads to not only potential reputational damage, but could also lead to financial damage. I mean, we see that increasingly on the market, let's say, because people are really enthusiastic about their idea. They really want to push an app out there, but then unfortunately, forget security, and I think that's a shame.
Okay, thank you.
Again, can add something from practical perspective, what we actually see on the project. So the prompt injection attacks might look really harmless, but we have quite examples when it's actually leak internal data. So many clients underestimate how easy they are to try. So this is a real issue.
Fortunately, our clients were not attacked, and yeah, I believe here the solution lays on architecture. So what we are doing, we are building context in an isolated way in Sandbox, meaning that it is no physical possibility to share data across different contexts.
Thank you, Igor. Thank you, colleagues. The next question is to Michael. Michael, when AI service goes down, what's different about incident response versus a normal web app?
Well, I wouldn't say that a lot is different about the incident response. In the end, once your application is not available, you want to restore it as quickly as possible. And in the end, I think most applications will start using AI features. So it should be part of your holistic incident response plan and business continuity management. But technically, there might be a few differences, but I think that's better explained by my coworkers or colleagues on the more technical side.
Thank you, Michael. Any
Yeah,
other? Yeah, thank you.
yeah. Basically, I would agree with Michael that, as usual, if context is isolated, then simple data recovery can help here. However, if application is publicly available and context is mixed, then data integrity could be lost. And here, probability of data lost is very high, meaning that scenario for recovery will be different. But in general, I would say that it should be designed on early stages.
Yeah, maybe I do have something to add to that, still from my end, which I sort of forgot. And you reminded me, it is indeed context dependent. If you have an external facing application that you might use as a customer service, you don't have the staff anymore to talk to your customers. Then you have a very different situation than when it's simply an internal tool which you gather the information, but you still have it at a different location. So context and the process that you apply these types of applications to is very important in that sense, and the workarounds that you might have in place.
And in both cases, I would say the additional layer is monitoring. So AI outage is quite tricky. So because even when the services restart and the model might run and giving some answer, this answer can be wrong. And monitoring the output quality and debugging it basically during the time is a part of the incident response as well.
Okay, thank you. That was a good question. And the next one, Snezhana. How do you spot a silent failure where the model still works, but the answers are wrong?
Yeah, I would basically complete the previous question because it was also touches this one. From a tester perspective, that means monitoring performance and testing real-world scenarios to catch some errors because before they cause the problems and can be easily exposable.
Thank you.
Here, just to add that for normal web application, it is a good practice to use after tests, like end-to-end tests with dedicated scripts that runs emulates client behavior. And for the AI, we can do the same, but if for the after tests we're using dedicated scripts, because logic behind is dedicated, right? For the AI, we should use AI to test and validate, and moving iteration over iteration, it brings a better result.
Thank you. Okay, let's move to the next question. Igor, secrets and keys sprawl fast. What's a simple way to keep them safe across multiple clouds?
Tricky question. It's not a typical situation because, as usual, it is just simple cloud provider per project. The reason is quite expensive data traffic between different cloud providers. But if you are in case for some reason that, for example, several cloud providers are in use, we have to follow same practices. Anyway, we have to use secret manager. Anyway, it is recommended to use best practices for each aspect of the project, meaning DevOps part as well. So having infrastructure as a code, we can manage secret managers over different cloud providers and store only those secrets that is important per each cloud. Alternative option is to use third-party providers that will manage whole secrets per project, but I believe here Michael can add more.
Yeah, if we need look at the entire landscape, once you start using these kinds of applications as an organization, you should already have, I think, elements like proper data classification in place. And I think the word monitoring already was mentioned. Only through proper data classification and using the right monitoring tools and connecting your different applications to that. Can you see where does my data go? You can automatically block it. At least it gives you a lot more insight about what goes on. Personally, I recommend my clients use a solution like a Microsoft Purview that can integrate with different kinds of applications, but there are multiple applications on the market. Sometimes you would need to combine them. But we would say you have a solid foundation in data classification, a good AI policy, and the right tools to indeed start monitoring.
Thank you.
I would say that secrets and Serialized Secret Manager and Vault, it's really the practical win that we already were talking about. And just make sure that the secret vault which you use goes with the key rotation, or there is a vault with automatic key rotation. So that basically removes the human error of copying keys into the configs. And also it's reducing the human error. Someone pushing environment, for example, and with keys to Git, so something like that. And it's also very helpful in the containerized environment. So, for example, if somebody uses Kubernetes, so the HashiCorp is something. There are a lot of vendors for that one, but it's really good vault that we advise sometimes to use.
Thank you. Thank you, Snezhana. Let's move to the next question. I guess it's for Igor. What numbers persuade executives that secure by design actually saves money?
Yeah, basically, we have to talk on client language, right? And as usual, it's a topic about the money. Once we are adding security operation on the project, we already measure that, as usual, it takes approximately 20% overhead to the project. And from the other hand, we can calculate risks in money. Instead of calculating likelihood and impact in some units, like, for example, bananas, we can calculate it in money. For example, if data breach is happening, then we can assume, for example, 50% of clients will leave the platform. And we, for example, are using a subscription model. Then we have exact amount of money that client could lost. And providing such kind of information provides a totally clear sense of having secure by design from the beginning.
Thank you, Igor.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I would never recommend anybody to measure impact in bananas. I don't think you will be convincing anybody. But indeed, take the total spectrum of financial impact. It's not just that you lose the operation for a week or 2 weeks, but you might, through reputational loss, indeed also lose current clients and potential clients in the future, and that will only increase the impact. It's not only directly, but also indeed indirectly. Yeah.
Thank you, Michael.
It's also important to mention here that we should not just rely on the automated checks, but also on the simulated real-world scenarios attacks to see if basically model output remain reliable. And without these checks, you can't be sure for real. We also look for these issues that might not be immediately obvious, but ensuring that model is trustworthy. And by the practical perspective, adding security design costs less than 5% of the project itself. So it's really worth it.
Thank you, colleagues. Thank you. That was a complete answer. Let's move to the next question. Michael, European Union rules like AI Act, ISO 42001, and IS2 are coming fast. What one thing should non-European companies start doing today?
Well, I already mentioned an information security management system in general, but also make sure you have the right processes in place for developing and deploying AI systems. That means indeed also keeping a form of human checks on the output. It means compiling a list of applications that you use and classifying them through risk levels. It means making sure that your people that build and work with these kinds of tools also receive the proper training, not only to prompt, but also to interpret and to build, that they know exactly what you need to create a mostly unbiased data set, for example, but also pay careful attention to what kind of data you use. Do you anonymize it, et cetera, et cetera. And when we're talking about external facing applications, it becomes increasingly more important the more autonomous these AI systems get, that you inform the public that you are actually working with an AI application before you get to talk to a real person, simply because that will be obligated under European law. But in general, I would also say that most of it is best practice, and you should be incorporating anyway. It's only the EU that has made it mandatory.
Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
Any other ideas?
Yeah, completely agree. And standards are based on controls that is identical to best practices. So if your company is going to becomes better, then best practices should be in place anyway, in any case. So yeah, completely agree.
Yeah, and I think that also if you look outside of your own product that you develop, supply chain management, especially under NIS2, becomes more important. And that's what we really see with our clients, is they have acquired a certain application, let's say 3 or 4 years ago. It's software as a service. The platform keeps developing, and all of a sudden they have an AI tool integrated in their current application. And some of these suppliers have really done their due diligence to create a strong application that's safe and secure. But some organizations also really want to jump on the hype and might deliver a less than secure product. So keeping a good eye on your supply chain and verifying that they take the correct measures is also becoming increasingly more important.
I completely agree with my colleagues. However, I would like to highlight here that even non-EU organizations that have users or customers in EU market should be affected, right, by the European law. So that's why they also should start reviewing their compliance measures and test those measures to be sure that they're working.
Thank you, colleagues. Thank you. Let's move on. And the next question is, I guess, is to Michael. How would you recommend allocating an AI security budget to get the best impact?
That is a good question, and I might not give a very satisfying answer, but I don't think you should be allocating a specific AI security budget. I think you should have a well thought out security budget. As I just mentioned, AI is becoming increasingly more common in most of the applications that we will start using. And that doesn't mean that you need extra resources. That means you need the proper resources, both to guarantee a secure development lifecycle, but also to make sure that you have the proper governance internally, that there is someone responsible to check if there are any risks, if we are compliant, and if simply at the start of building an application, the right security people are attached and have the resources to perform their job. In that sense, from my perspective, that is no different than it was before. It just simply, I think, in the operation might require some different techniques to actually guarantee it.
Thank you. Would anybody want to like to add something? Okay, that's it.
I would also say, to summarize it and basically to recommend focusing on the few key areas to allocate funds to identify and prioritize the most critical vulnerabilities first. Also invest in the tools that provide real-time insights and alerts to catch these issues earlier. We would like to really recommend regular test system with real-world attack simulations to find these weaknesses before attackers do. As already Michael mentions, so set aside some budget to quick and effective response capabilities to minimize damage. But here I also want to highlight the training and awareness, because it depends on your team, is up to date on the latest threats and best practices. It's really the key focus on measures that can basically stay your whole team and a product focused on the security perspective.
Thank you, Snezhana. Okay, let's move to the next question. Igor, what single emerging threat keeps you awake at night for 2026?
There are new vulnerabilities every day, every hour, every minute. And the whole world is working to close vulnerabilities. But one huge vulnerability is not closed. It's social engineering and people who is under effect of social engineering. I would say this part is something that everyone have to work. I believe that trainings makes a huge impact to save to become safer in the network. But anyway, human factor still to be the most risky part here.
Okay, yeah, as usual.
Completely agree.
Yeah,
Completely agree.
I
And
couldn't.
yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead. I'll wait my turn.
I just, because of the emotions and because we have so much fun right now because of this new attacks, let's say. And I would say there is a combination of the AI-driven attacks and advanced social engineering, as Igor mentioned. AI is making cyber attacks more adaptive and more hard to detect. So while social engineering tactics are becoming more convincing and more targeted. So together they pose a really challenge that requires alertness and basically new measures. So something that was enough some time ago is not enough anymore.
Yeah. I also have to totally agree with the both of you. And when I first heard the question, I was like, yeah, what doesn't keep me up at night nowadays? There's a lot of going on in the world. And I think indeed, social engineering with AI, well, I think we've all heard about deep fakes for a while now, what they can do with your voice, but also simply affect our perception of reality. Whether somebody did or did not do something, what kind of affiliation they have, the way you look at a certain event in the world. It's yeah, there are so broad a range of application for these tools to indeed maybe the yeah, well, I wouldn't call it the dumbing down of a general population, but the moment that people start relying on artificial intelligence and the data, for instance, the integrity has been compromised, the data has been poisoned, and people start making decisions based on wrong information, yeah, then that's also going to be a very slippery slope.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, Alex, that sounds really challenging. But moving on to the next and our last question. Snezhana, please give us one optimistic prediction. What will be easier about secure AI in a year from now?
Optimistic prediction. I would say that it's my wish that in a year, securing AI will be much more easier because we will have better tools and find a fixed problem automatically. So this means less work and more safety for our clients and more safety basically for everyone because from the company's perspective, also their customers, so the secure world for everyone.
Thank
We
you.
are observing that currently in trend are AI agent. AI agent appears in IDE, in cloud systems, everywhere. And sometimes, personally, I found really valuable information. So I hope that it will be much more targeted information from those tools that will bring mistake factor much lower and become human efficiency much higher.
Thank you.
Well, I think also to align with that, the longer we work with these kinds of tools, the more people know, the more resilient they might become. So they also know what to expect from these kinds of tools, how to interpret the data, and how to work with it. But also, if you look at the attacker side, that is indeed using artificial intelligence. So are the defenders. So in that sense, automatic defenses are also becoming better. So yeah, it's sometimes a slippery slope to an arms race, but in the end, it might lead to positive results in less work and stress maybe for us, but a more secure environment. So yeah. I would see that as a positive development.
And actually, I would like to add here that it's not just from the cybersecurity world. It's like touches everyone. Physics, right? We are all want to have one day the quantum computer, right? So basically, to do the this huge work together. But maybe AI is a way how to basically succeed in that one and to go to the prediction and etc.
Thank you. Thank you, Snezhana, and thank you, colleagues. We do not have any questions from our audience in a Q&A chat. So let's move to the final destination. Thank you all for joining our discussion, for your contribution. I would like also to thank our audience for joining this event. If you are planning an AI release and want speed without the surprise, Geniusee builds securely, Iterasec breaks it before attackers do, and Northwave keeps it defended and compliant. Let's connect and map your next secure release together. Thank you once again.